What's going on, everyone? Man, my eyes look puffy today. Just woke up, drinking some coffee, having a morning cigarette. Um, sorry. I wanted to do a video today on, my first movie review, of Eyes Wide Shut. I don't know, this is a movie that I've been wanting to watch for a long time. I'm a conspiracy theorist, and this is honestly like the conspiracy movie, to watch. Kind of like one of those, I guess, like a rite of passage almost, If you're a conspiracy theorist, like, hey man, you seen Eyes Wide Shut? I'd heard about it for years. That, and I'm a big fan personally of Stanley Kubrick, like The Shining and uh, 2001 Space Odyssey. Sorry, I'm hacking up a lung this morning. Yeah, I already know, I can hear it in the comments. Well, you should quit smoking. Yeah. It's better than what I used to do. But yeah, so I wanted to check it out, and it's been on Hulu for a minute. I'd come across some Kubrick video in general on YouTube and seen in the comment section somebody was like, hey, Eyes Wide Shut's on YouTube Hulu right now. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I hope this video does okay. Like I said, it's my first movie review, but I wanted to talk about it while it's fresh in my mind. First of all, there's like a little conspiracy around it that there's 24 minutes missing from the actual movie. A lot of people say that whoever helped Kubrick put the movie out was like, hey man, we got to cut this 24 minutes out. Apparently, like, from what I've heard, it was too close to what... There was something in those 24 minutes that was too close to reality and too close to what actually goes on in real life. For anyone who hasn't watched the movie, basically, to sum it up in like a simplified way, it's basically like Illuminati. Tom Cruise, the main character, I can't remember his character's name actually, but Bill, Dr. Bill. Dr. Bill goes to a friend's party, and he knows the pianist. Him and the pianist used to go to medical school together, and so he ends up having a drink with the pianist and talking to him. Pianist is like, hey, go check out this other club that I'm going to another night. It's called the Sonata. So he goes and goes back to his wife, and then this is where it gets like weird. Like, first of all, his wife in the movie is like, I don't know, like a piece of shit, honestly. Like, he stoops to kind of a low during the movie. I don't know, me and my wife watched it together, because she's a conspiracy theorist, not as much as me, but she's been down the rabbit hole with me, and obviously, husband and wife, she's going to be curious, hey, what are you watching? Or she's listened to lots of videos that I've watched, or, I've read a shit ton of conspiracy books and stuff like that, so, she's obviously been like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, reading. What you reading about? So, of course, I give her the whole spiel, But I don't know, I've been wanting to watch it forever, so I put it on and she watched it with me. But even she was like judging the wife the whole time, and I'm like, if you haven't seen the movie, the wife is like lousy. Like, for one, they smoke a joint together, and I don't know if anyone in the comment section has ever smoked weed, but like the wife starts arguing with him. And even Tom Cruise says in part of the scene, he's like, that joint made you angry. And me and her just looked at each other, started busting up laughing. Because, I mean, I've used weed in the past. I mean, I'm sure you can tell just by my videos that I used to be a stoner. Um, I'm not now, but, like, I looked at her and I'm like, weed does not make you angry, man. Like, if anything, it just makes you fucking, like, giggle and laugh. So she starts arguing with him because, oh, this is another reason why the wife is a POS in the movie. At the beginning of the movie, he goes and helps this girl who's ODing in a bathroom because he's a doctor, you know. There's one of those whole, is there a doctor in the house? Is there a doctor in the house? This girl's dying. So he goes and helps her, and he ends up talking to like two girls, and everyone at the party's drunk, you know, and he's honestly in the scene, he's like kind of flirting with the two chicks, but nothing happens. She's straight up dancing with this old guy, and the old guy almost talks her into sneaking upstairs so they can basically fuck. By the way, there's spoilers. I'll put that in the title so you can't get mad if I spoil anything. And then they go back to the house, and she's like all jealous because she's seen him talking to two girls. And she's like, well, aren't you jealous of me? He's like, no, because I trust you. The bitch is crazy, man. The wife's fucking crazy. So she starts doing like this hysterical, manic, I'm going insane laughter. I guess it's a mix of the weed and that, and she's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in general. The whole movie, by the way, the vibes I got from the wife is this chick is just unstable in the head. I mean, she's smoking hot in the movie. She's naked like throughout the whole movie, but just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, dude. So, by the way, there's a window right there. If you see me glancing out, I don't know. I like looking out the window. I just didn't want you thinking I'm crazy, like, you know. But yeah. So she's just crazy. And then she goes into this huge detail about pretty much how she almost cheated on him. But instead of just leaving it like that, like, for anyone who's married, like, I'm sure there's, every marriage, you know, there's those times when you could have cheated, you know? I mean, there's been times that, you know, I've even told my wife, like, dude, I totally had the option to do it today. You know, and I didn't, obviously. I didn't do it, you know, but it happens, man. I mean, but she didn't just kind of like leave it at that, like, oh, I had the option to cheat on you, but I didn't do it, you know, because that would have been the normal, I don't know, healthy marital thing to do. Like, hey, you know, by the way, when we were on vacation, some guy, you know, was flirting, blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing, the guy wasn't even flirting. She fell in love with this naval officer and pretty much, like, told her husband, like, completely cucked him. Told him that they had made love that night, they had made plans for the future, and the whole time the naval officer was on her mind, and she had wanted to fuck him, and I don't know, the wife is just an evil psycho bitch in the movie. Like, why would you tell your fucking husband that? Like, y'all went to a party, had a good time. Like, even if that's the way you felt, like, why would you tell your husband that? So that was kind of, my wife the whole movie was like, damn, she's a bitch. I'm like, she is. You know? So before you go and say, oh, Abe's being sexist, hating on women, my wife was doing more trash talking about her than me. And then, sorry, I had to get that out of there, that the wife was crazy. So he, like, his buddy ends up dying. The whole movie is, like, sexual encounters. If you haven't seen it, it's, like, a very obviously sexual movie. But it's not too sexual. It's only rated R. And, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of desensitized to that from watching years of pornography, so it doesn't really bother me. But if that type of stuff bothers you or something, just a little heads up, it's a very sexual movie. I think like the The worst that you'll see is when they go to like an Illuminati party and there's like it's pretty much softcore pornography. You know, like they're simulating sex acts. But like they he ends up going to his buddy's house and then his buddy's wife ends up making out with him. It's fucking crazy. So then he leaves and he ends up throughout the movie he keeps getting tested as a character. And he cheats but he doesn't really cheat. Like I think the worst that he does with his against his wife cheating wise is he goes to hire a prostitute. His wife ends up calling and he feels guilty, so he doesn't do it. He doesn't go through with it. He does kiss the chick like once. Um he goes and tries to goes and tries to pursue sex multiple times throughout the movie but never goes through with it. And at the end of the movie, he ended up being they're both she ended up I don't know, this is kind of weird. At the end of the movie, she ended up totally investing um she cheated on an emotional level. Like straight up cheated on an emotional level. But technically, he cheated by kissing other girls, and he cheated on the physical level because he wanted sex from other people, but it just, for some reason and circumstance, it didn't fall through. So at the end of the movie, they both cheated, but they both really didn't cheat. It's kind of weird. It leaves you on a cliffhanger like, well, did they cheat technically? Did they not? It's kind of like a gray area, which is cool. I like movies that honestly make me think about gray areas, definitely. Because everyone thinks it's just white and black, and I think there's honestly gray areas in everything, you know? But, so the premise of the movie is he ends up, long story short, he ends up going to an Illuminati sex party. And I don't know, that's the biggest part of the movie that everyone focuses on, it, which it should, which everyone should focus on that. Because that was made back in like, sorry, correct me in the comments, I think either late 80s or early 90s. Maybe mid 90s, like 94, 95, 96, somewhere around there. But, because that shit really happens, you know? And I think it was honestly kind of like declassification slash predictive programming of Hollywood pretty much saying, if not Hollywood, Kubrick saying, hey, this shit really happens. Just giving you a little tip of the hat of, you know, this is for real. This is what goes on in Hollywood and politics and all that. And I don't think Kubrick got to express that as much as he wanted to, because there's 24 minutes taken out of a movie. I mean, let's just round up. 6 minutes round up. That's 30 minutes taken out of a movie. So I mean, I don't know what was said in that 30 minutes. I mean, 30 minutes is sorry, dog yelping. 30 minutes is the length of an episode on television. You know, that's quite a bit. That'd be like a series taking out an entire episode. So I'm curious as to what happened in those 30 minutes. But I mean that type of weird shit does happen with the Illuminati and Hollywood in general. I mean, look at all the stuff coming out with the whole Me Too movement, like Weinstein and or this whole Jeffrey Epstein stuff that's going on, you know? I mean, Jeffrey Epstein is the first conspiracy theory to where even the sheeple are going, yeah, he didn't kill himself. This is definitely a conspiracy. So, I mean, that to me, 2019, 2020, that's pretty epic. That's pretty historical. You know, honestly, conspiracy theorists should be going, I don't think anyone's really said it enough that, dude, this is like the first conspiracy theory to where even non-conspiracy theorists are freaking out yelling conspiracy, man. That's pretty dope. That's pretty historical. But yeah, basically, there's a big sex orgy. There's plenty of nudity. If you're a guy, you're not going to be bored watching the movie. Well, hell, even if you're a chick and you don't mind seeing pornography, that's pretty much what it becomes at one point. One point that I liked, and I kind of already knew where it was going, was he has to say the password to get into the place. Which, by the way, getting into the place he learns from the pianist. The pianist plays. He plays the piano blindfolded at these like orgies, pretty much. And he kind of tells him, "Hey, dude, one day that blindfold wasn't tied on big enough, you know." By the way, that's kind of a little reference to Freemasonry, the whole hoodwinked uh, degree part, you know. That's is a little hint to Freemasonry right there, the whole blindfold, with the whole initiation process, all that jazz. You know, look all that up if you want to check it out. I'm not gonna get into it on this video. I'm already on 16 minutes. So he ends up finding out the password from that dude and going into the party. The password's like Fidelio. See, I would have fucked up. I wouldn't have gotten the party. Fidelio, I think it was, which is Latin, I'm guessing. Probably has to do with fidelity, like fidelity, infidelity, all that jazz. And the dude only gives him one password because there's only one password. So he ends up kind of getting caught. They kind of feel that he's out of place, and this chick warns him, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here. It's dangerous." So he ends up getting caught, and they bring him towards like this red robe dude, and he's like, everyone's wearing masks and cloaks, and it's typical Illuminati, dude. And he's like, "Oh, since you're here, what's the second password? What's the password of the house?" And he's like, "I forgot." And it turns out there was no password. He was just testing him. I think a lot of that shit happens in real life. I mean, my dad, you know, he got pulled over by a Freemason one time, and he thought like he knew the Freemason passwords and stuff, so he told him one password, and the Mason kept asking him different ones, and he failed. He messed up on one, and the guy's like, "By the way, you messed up on such and such password. It's this. Next time, know your passwords better." Like, he pretty much was like, "Yeah, I know you're not a Mason, dude." Probably got the ticket after that. But yeah, I mean that shit goes on, you know. I mean, look at Bohemian Grove. Everyone hated on Alex Jones because of his antics, but the dude put out a documentary pretty much sneaking into Bohemian Grove and like showing you, dude, and no one talks about it. No one thinks it's weird that all the elite, all the presidents and people in the Bilderberg group, I mean, I'm talking elite people running this world, are going out to the middle of the woods, worshiping an owl, having orgies. Like, it's never brought into conversation. And as soon as you bring it into conversation, they're like, "Oh, you're crazy." Okay, it's literally on film. Like, I don't know, it's frustrating being a conspiracy theorist. You know, and everyone going around who's makes fun of conspiracy theorists, and they're all saying they're woke. It's like, dude, you ain't woke. You don't know what's going on. But I don't know, another thing that was crazy with this movie that made me really want to watch it was when he made the final cut of the movie, Kubrick, he had a heart attack, and then that's when they took out the 24 minutes. So it kind of makes me, that's real weird right there, that like the dude was saying too much and got, you know, killed off. That's a whole conspiracy for another day. You know, I'm not saying I believe in it, not saying I don't believe in it. I just do find that kind of odd. Especially towards the end, Kubrick apparently became like a really bad alcoholic. He became like a recluse. Like, he didn't really associate much with people. So I mean, that's weird, strange behavior, definitely. Which I knew Kubrick was a little off anyways, and had anger issues, and was an alcoholic, but I don't know. The whole thing is weird around it. Definitely weird. Uh, which with Kubrick, there's conspiracies like crazy. A lot of people say that he filmed the moon landing and stuff. And once again, another conspiracy theory that I don't want to get into today. Maybe I'll make another video on just Kubrick one day, because there's plenty there. Let's see, what else did I miss? At this point, I'm just honestly retelling the movie, and I don't want to do that. Pretty much, it's the whole movie felt like it was like a mystery, like a crime mystery, like you were watching like a Sherlock Holmes and trying to figure it out. Because the whole time, me and my wife were trying to figure out, well, who was the girl at the orgy that warned him? Was it this girl? Was it the prostitute? Is it his wife? Like, the whole movie keeps you on the edge of your seat trying to figure it all out. Some of it is predictable, and some of it is totally not predictable. He ends up getting followed in the movie. They pretty much follow him. The Illuminati. The Illuminati ends up killing several people off. I do like, there's one scene that I like, is when he goes back to his buddy's house and they're having a couple drinks together, and his buddy's like, look, dude, I know what happened. I know you snuck into this party. Do you realize who all was at this party? And they never actually say in the movie, but he's kind of hinting like, dude, you're messing with bankers and world elite, and these aren't just your average Joes having an orgy. This is like elite people fucking around in a big Rothschild looking castle, dude. Like, these people will kill you pretty much. So I did kind of like that scene. But yeah, that's about it. At the towards the end of the movie, he ends up kind of resolving everything slightly. Him and his wife slightly resolve what happened. They're both honestly left dirty. They're both left feeling dirty, and their marriage is unstable. They're trying to like work through it, and there is that slight hope that they're gonna make it, but it's not a movie at the end where you're like, oh, they both fucked up, they both almost died, but they learned their lesson. It does not end like that. It ends very negative, to where they both end up just feeling dirty. Like, I don't know. Like, man, they're both unstable and feeling dirty. Honestly, that's how the movie ends. It ends on a joke. That's the last line in the movie, is a joke, and it is kind of funny. Me and my wife both got a laugh out of it, but I don't know. It was a good movie. My actual finishing of this review, I'll say I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Because it was a good movie, but I expected it to get more into the whole occult part. I was expecting from the trailers and stuff, because it's only one really big scene where he goes to the mansion and actually sees the orgy and the ceremony before the orgy, which I thought it would get more into it. Like, they would slightly start dragging him into it, to where he goes to like multiple different ceremonies. He's like initiated in, and he moves up in the ranks of like the Illuminati, you know. That's how I thought the movie was going to play out. But it's honestly, he sneaks into an Illuminati ceremony / orgy, gets kicked out, and the rest of the movie he's being watched and followed, and he's paranoid, and he's worried they're going to kill his wife because they threaten his wife and kid. And it was a good movie though overall, but I thought it was going to get deeper in, like he gets initiated in. I thought that would have been cool, and that's where I thought the movie was going, but it wasn't. So it wasn't what I expected, which is why I can't give it a full 10 or a 9. I give it an 8, maybe a 7.5. There's plenty of nudity in it, which I'm not complaining, you know. Sorry. As a guy, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not complaining. There's plenty of nudity in it, so if you're into adult nudity and stuff, hey, that's cool. Like adult films, you know, rated R. They definitely could have made it NC-17 if they wanted to. But yeah, that's all I got to say on it. If you're a conspiracy theorist, check it out. You'll love it. You'll probably love it. If I would say the movie was definitely geared towards conspiracy theorists, because normal sheeple watching the movie would just be like, I don't get it. It's a bunch of weird people in masks having orgies. Like, I don't. What did you come here to see this for? Tits? Is, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing they'll get out of it is, oh, it's basically an excuse to see, you know, Nicole, what's her name, naked, you know. But no, honestly, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you'll love the movie. And it's a good bucket list thing as a conspiracy theorist. You know, it's a good bucket list thing of check it off your movies you watched, you know. Because it always comes up in conversation like, oh, that's some Eyes Wide Shut shit, you know. And I've always heard that. Man, that's just like Eyes Wide Shut. And I've always wanted to watch the movie hearing it, you know. But that's about it. I give it a 7.5/8, somewhere around there. Y'all should check it out. It's on Hulu right now. Y'all have a good day.